Good. So my topic today is freedom versus equality. So we all know that the United States is the land of the free, but just because we're all free doesn't necessarily mean that we're all equal. So everybody in this class, derives from a minority race, or whether it be a minority race or a different gender. Because most genders both genders are looked at very differently in our society, and we've all been impacted one way or another in this topic. So, I like to ask, like, where is the line drawn between having freedom and being seen as equal? So, first all my main points can be things that I feel that really tie into this topic. So, I'm first going to talk about discrimination and how I feel it really plays into the freedom versus equality. And then another thing that I wanted to after them discuss is affirmative action and how it really plays into the whole freedom versus equality. And then third and last thing, we'll talk about some firsthand experiences that I've had that make me question, where we draw the line between being free and equal. So, first, I'm talking about discrimination. Discrimination is all around us. We've all seen it throughout our lives, whether it be recently or in the past. We see it like in school, through social media, on the news, like all over the place. And one place where I feel like it really plays a big factor that we're always seeing all over the news is police brutality, because police are supposed to be to protect and serve, but I feel like they do at times abuse their power. So that really starts to question, where does it become where we're all seen as equal to be where we're all free? So we always see on the news, there's young black men losing their lives all the time at the hands of police brutality. Just because they have a different color of their skin, the police feel like they can treat them differently, and they suspect them to be as criminals. So, in a quote that I read on an article in The Guardian, which is an online news press, it stated that even though they only make up 2% of the U.S. populations, African American males aged 15 to 34 made up 15% of all deaths at the hands of police last year, which is 5 times higher than the rate for white males at the same age. Which is I think is like funny to me because white males make up the highest population of people in jail. So I don't understand why is it that it's the other way around, for the people who are not even making up all the jails are the ones losing their lives to the hand of the police. So, actually, another reason, back to I forgot to say earlier, my credibility. The reason that I feel like I can relate to this topic or why I can talk about this topic is because I do derive from a minority race. I'm Hispanic, so we've all gone through different things to that express that, and also because I'm currently taking an African Studies class, which really focuses on gender, race, and equality. So it's something that I've been constantly learning about every day. So, and secondly, I'm talking about affirmative action. Affirmative action was first implemented in 1961 by President Kennedy, and he implemented that in order to help level the playing field for everybody, so everybody would have an equal chance to get jobs, so they wouldn't be able to discriminate from race, gender, disability, or anything like that. There's been a lot of pros and cons with affirmative action over the years. There's been people who think that it's a negative thing, other people think it's a positive thing. I feel like affirmative action isn't something that should be necessary. Quite frankly, I think it's degrading to people because I feel like it's like pretty much saying that they couldn't earn that position or whatever it is they received on their own, so they had to get it handed to them. And it was also recently the affirmative action started being used in colleges. My junior year in my history class, we spent weeks talking about this topic of affirmative action in colleges, where they were pretty much for people who were minority races. They were lowering the standards for them so they would be able to get into better colleges to help them equal out the races in the colleges. And I just don't think that was a thing that should be happening, because I feel like if I were to get something in life, I would want to earn it myself, not hand it to me because I was of a minority race. So it's just really like making people feel less than their worth because they're getting stuff handed to them, but not like making them feel like they deserved it. So I just talked about affirmative action, and now last thing we'll talk about like my first-hand experiences I've had. So when I was in high school, we would do a lot of random searches, like 3 times a week, and it just always something that stood out to me was the kids who were like white or Asian. They would hardly look through their backpacks and then let them go, and then for the rest, I hardly even look Hispanic to most people, but I'm Hispanic. For the rest of us who were left over, they would make sure to search us thoroughly. Like they would go through our backpacks, they'd make us take off our shoes, shake our waist and stuff. And I just thought it was a little ridiculous because these people, they were hardly looking through their bags, and the rest of us, they would take 10, 15 minutes searching through all our stuff. I mean, we weren't doing anything wrong. It was a random search. They had no accusations, and yet they were like taking their time to shake us down to make sure we weren't hiding anything, because I guess we were suspicious people to them. Another first-hand experience I had, this was just a few weeks ago, so which is like, that's what like really wanted me to like choose this topic, because this shit happened recently. One day, I was getting home from school, so it was like broad daylight, maybe 4 in the afternoon, and I parked right in front of my house, and then I coincidentally, as I'm parking in front of my house, the cop car with 2 cops is driving by, and I wasn't even out of the car yet when they were like passing by. So then, as I get out of my car, I noticed they were like 5 houses up, and they stopped, and I was like, okay, that's a little weird, because I live in a predominantly white neighborhood, so usually there's not really cops in my neighborhood anyways. Like my family on our street, we're the only Hispanics or non-whites. So the cops stopped a few houses ahead when they saw me get out of the car, and I was like, okay, this is nothing. And then I realized as I started walking closer to my house, like one of them was peeking his head out the window back at me. So then I stopped as soon as I got to my front door, because I wanted to see, like, is he testing me? Like, I stopped at my front door and I just turned and I looked at him, and I saw that he was just staring at me. And then finally I pulled out my keys and opened the door, and he decided to drive away. And I just think, that was a little wrong, because I'm in my own neighborhood in front of my house, and the cops are like, they're here like trying to give me problems when I haven't even done anything, just because I look a little different or I look like I didn't belong in the neighborhood. So it kind of made me question, like, I had the freedom to walk into my house, but am I being treated as equally as everybody else would if they were walking into their house at the time of the day? So, first, I discussed discrimination, and then I talked about affirmative action, and then I talked about first-hand experiences and how they all tied into this whole topic of whether like freedom versus equality. So it's just like I said, my thesis earlier, to repeat one more time, it's just like, where's the line drawn between the two? Like, where does it end from when we become free until we're treated as equals? And just like one last thing I want to leave you guys with is, there's one thing like I came to conclude after all this was like, we do live in the land of the free, but it was never guaranteed that we were going to be treated equal. And another quote I wanted to leave you guys with, I read a quote the other day from Malcolm X when I was doing research on this topic, was he said, you're not given justice, and you're not given freedom, you're not given justice, or anything, you have to take it. Thank you.